Ever feel like you're playing variable Jenga, carefully choosing which one won't make your app crash? Yeah, me too when I first started. Today, we're tackling the variable dilemma head on. We'll explore context variables, global variables, and collections. We're going to break down exactly when to use each one. But first, let's challenge that status quo. Do we always need a variable? Let's dive in and find out. Okay, so let's get into our Power Apps Studio. Here we are. We got a brand new Canvas app. Some of the biggest takeaways I've had teaching Power Apps is too many variables. Our students are just overcomplicating things, and we all need to take a second and remind ourselves that Power Apps needs to be simple. Okay, so let's enter a container. Into our insert box here, I just search up container, click it, and here we are. Resize. Okay, and for this example, what we're looking at is, do we need variables? I don't know. Let's try to make a calculator here. So we'll insert a text input. That looks good. Okay, we'll just place that there. And I'm going to rename it as always. Top value. Okay, I'll just quick key this. We'll get another one in. And that one actually wasn't bad. That would have worked for what we're doing. But I'll just add a 2 there. Insert label. Okay, let's make it the same size. And this one, we'll just make a plus. Okay, and then rename. Plus sign. I'm going to copy that. Equals. Just remember that our defaults, we want to take out the text input. Okay, I can use it over here, or again, you can search through this drop down, default, remove it. What we want to do, let's grab our 2 text labels here, hold control, click, and let's change the mode. Sorry, the format to number. Okay, we want number for this. Let's take our last label. And instead of equals sign, just going to make it equals. And up here, instead of, text, we actually want to put txt top value dot text plus txt top value dot text. Okay, and then let's hit play. Let's see what happens. Okay, oh, it says 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. It's pretty good to me. 21. 2 plus 21, 23. 48 plus 56. So it's pretty good. Yes, I do know that. Stop showing me this. Okay, so there you have it. Did we need variables for all that? No, it's handling the calculation pretty good. Yeah, I don't think we need it. So let's talk about the other ones. Contextual versus global variables. When would you use a context variable versus when would you use a global variable? So you have to remember context variables only survive within one screen. As soon as you go to another screen, that context variable is dead. So in this case, let's go to the on visible of this screen and let's write our update context. Okay, and let's just call it, with naming conventions proper, please. Let's call it calculator. Okay, and of course, it's going to be false. Okay, so when the on screen of this main screen happens, that local variable is set to false. If you go to our container now and you take the true out and you add in our LOC calculator, loc calculator, the container's gone. Okay, now we need to bring it back. Let's go to insert. Let's bring a button into the play here. And let's write calculator btn pop. Now you might guess, yeah, we're going to on select. That was cool. It wanted me to rename AI. So to change a context variable, we always need to update context. LOC calculator, and this time we're going to make it true. So instead of pressing play, I'm going to hold Alt and I'm going to click this button. And there it is. Now, this container is actually see-through. We can change that. Let's change it to gray. Let's move the button behind. Send to back. And now we have this calculator as a pop-up. Okay, I don't like the color of that gray, so let's make it a bit lighter. So now, if we were to leave this screen, but this pop-up was still set to true, when we come back to the screen, it's going to be false again. Let's insert an icon. Let's get a cancel. Okay. And ICO calculator. On the on select. Yep, you got it. Update context. LOC calculator. False. So now you can launch your calculator and you can hide it. Okay, so now we're doing some pretty complex things. We're showing a pop-up on one screen. We're doing some calculations. It's going pretty good. Okay, so when would you want to use a global variable? Well, let's think about it. Let's say we launch our calculator, and this calculator, this number is very important. We need that number in a submit screen. Okay, so let's add another screen, blank, and let's put submit screen in here. Let's go back. Oh, where did our pop-up go? That's right. It was reset. Okay, so let's bring our calculator back up. Let's insert a button. Let's put it right in the middle. And let's put submit. Now the on select, how do we set global variables? By using set. Okay, so set. Following proper naming conventions, it's going to be GBL. Calculation. Now, we could write that mathematical equation in again, but let's make it so that it just reads the label equals dot text. Now we're only doing the calculation once. Remember, we want to keep it all simple. Okay, so when we click that, it will now set, but that's not good enough because we want to navigate to our submit screen. Submit screen. For me, it's only ever fade. And you know what? Let's say the guy in front of me, the next person, whoever is going to work on this app, they go, hey, Kyle, what did you do there? Well, let's grab the calculation and add it to a variable. So we can navigate, variable, then we can navigate to submit. Okay, now probably a seasoned veteran could read this and understand without this, but you're going to write some more complex code, and they're going to appreciate if you leave some notes. So // to leave your note, and let's try this out. Okay, so we'll hit submit, and let's create another text label. We'll put it right in the center. Sorry, let's put it right in the center. Let's make it bigger though. And if you've watched me before, I like my interpolated texts. So your calculation was, and then in between these curly braces is our global calculation. Okay? It's 104. Now I don't like to do anything on the tree. So what I'll make here is another cancel, or I think cancel could be confusing. Let's go back. So put it back up here. And all we're going to do is navigate back to our main screen using a fade. If you really want to get fancy, and let's say this is a cancel, we're going to do another set, and all we're going to do is make our global calculation set to blank. Don't forget your semicolon, because that means there's more code in the script. And now we'll have this. But wait a minute. Why is our submit button out here? And also, why didn't I rename the button? Okay. Sloppy. So button submit. Let's cut that out of there. So I use Control X. Then let's click our container. Control V. It's in there. Let's bring our calculator up. And let's reposition the button. Okay. So now we can enter our 2, enter our 4. So we have 6. Click submit. Your calculation was 6. Looks pretty good to me. Okay, so that's kind of where I would use UpdateContext if it's going to be on the screen. And if it's a global variable and I need to talk to the rest of the app, that's where I would set it. But usually UpdateContext is for true or false, for pop-ups for me. The rest you can use your labels and just do your calculations within the screen. It's only when you're going to move from screen to screen that I would use your global variables. Okay, so now that leaves one more thing. Collections. When would you use collections? Well, let's say we have this. Let's say it's a 6. Move over here. Your calculation was 6. Let's add one more button. So now we're in the submit screen again. Click add button. Okay, we're going to put it in the middle. Submit to collection. Okay, and that's a little small, so we're going to make the button a bit bigger. On select, we're going to write clear collect. Okay, so COL to start all our collections. This is not going to only help you. This is going to help everyone else that may look into your app. Calculations. item. And we're going to try this. I haven't tested this before, so let's go calc num equals, and if you're familiar with Excel, count rows, call collections plus 1. And calculation, global calculation. But we're not done. We want to be efficient. This shouldn't be a back. This should be a navigate. Okay? So we're going to go back to our main screen. We'll use our fade. And if you're going to call me out, let's do it all together. Global calculation should be set to blank. Okay, so now we're going to collect to our call calculations. We're going to try the count rows plus 1. I should wrap a coalesce around here. And why is that? Well, Power Apps doesn't like zeros. Or they don't like null, to be precise. Okay, well, let's figure out what I did wrong. Oh, there we go. I forgot a T. And that happens too. Sometimes your code's going to look really good and you're going to say, well, I didn't make this right. But you probably did. You're just missing a letter or maybe a comma, maybe a semicolon, like I did right there. So let's try it. Submit to collection. Now, on this left tab, you're going to see, and let's go into the collections. I have one row. Let's view the table. Number 1, calculation was 6. Okay, so now from our calculator, let's add another one. 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Calculation was 4, 4, 4. Okay, let's take a look. What happened? You're right. It's because I'm using clear collect. Okay, so let's go back to our submit. I wasn't wrong because that might be all you need. Submit. Your calculation was 128. Let's go back into that clear collection. And let's change that to collect. Now let's take a look. Now, why would it say 2? Well, it would say 2 because when this one was made, it was going to be number 2, but I used a clear collect. So we're going to need to clear our collection. And the quickest way to do that is to grab a button. Let's double click it. And let's clear the collection. Okay, our on select's already there. Let's right clear, all calculations, and clear it. Now we have 0 rows. So we'll do 1. I forgot to make that lower. In case you want to know how I just did that, I'm holding Control and I'm pressing the square bracket. Okay, 1 square bracket, the right side goes up and the left side goes down or backwards. Okay, let's submit again. Let's change this to 6, making it 11. And if we did it right, 1 and 11. Let's try it again. Let's just change 1 to make 14. Check our collection again. So it seems to be working. Now I don't want to check this every time. So let's insert a gallery. We have a few minutes left. Let's make it a blank gallery. And our data source, click on the right menu here, will be call calculations. Now we could get into some pretty cool stuff in calculations or collections, and what I would like to do to display this, but we're not ready yet. Okay, we're going to keep this very basic. Let's make it 50 pixels. Let's click on our template because that's different. You click on here, you get your gallery. You click in here, you get your template. Let's add a label. It's already guessing what we want, but we're going to make it a bit different. So clear it right out of there. We're going to write our money sign because that's what we use all the time. And then record, colon, this item, dot calc num, right? So record 1, record 2, it's already there. And then calculation, this item, dot calculation. And if we've done it all right, you'll see 11 and 14. Let's save. It's always important to save. Okay? So, now we know, here's our calculations. We can clear our collection. And we can start adding a bunch of numbers. So, come on. Calculator. Anyone catch that? I haven't been very good at moving my galleries around or my buttons. Or naming them for that matter. This should be gal records. This should be button clear collection. Submit. So there's one. There's two. I got a third one now. Okay, so now we have a calculator avoiding all variables, a pop-up window which uses a context variable, the calculation which uses our global variable, and then submit to collection which uses collections. So I've shown you a lot today. If you have any questions, please reach out. Let me know what I can do to help. If you like this video, click on the like button. I can use all the support I can get. And don't forget to drop a subscribe. Thanks everyone for watching. Until next time.